Hi, before you guys get started with this week's homework, I wanted to go over one more piece of material with you regarding genotypes and phenotypes, and that's codominance. So, in class on Wednesday, we already talked about different ways phenotypes can be expressed. Remember, there has to be a homozygous dominant, which is two dominant alleles, or a heterozygous dominant in order for a dominant trait to be expressed. But the only way a recessive trait can be expressed phenotypically is when there are no dominant alleles around. So it's homozygous recessive. In easier terms, that's two lowercase letters. So I want to briefly discuss with you codominance. What happens when there are two dominant alleles around, but both of them are saying different things. And the best example of this, as you see in front of you, is the ABO blood group. So I'm going to point out, we're going to start with type O blood. Individuals that have type O blood, this is a recessive trait. This means that they've gotten one recessive allele from mom and one recessive allele from dad. So they have homozygous recessive and thus type O blood. Now type A blood is a dominant trait. This means that they can have one of two allele combinations. They can either have a homozygous dominant, so one dominant allele from one parent, one dominant allele from another parent, or they can have heterozygous, which is a dominant allele from one parent and this recessive O from another parent, but it's not hurt at all because of the presence of this dominant allele. So A blood either can be AA genotype or AO genotype. Same thing with type B blood. It can either be homozygous dominant, one dominant allele from one parent, one dominant allele from another parent, giving them type B blood, or dominant recessive. Now, this last one, this is what happens when codominance comes around. What if one allele is a dominant A from one parent and another allele is a dominant B from another parent? Well, what happens is your body listens to both. Instead of A or B, you get type AB blood. Now, this breaks down even further into negative and positive, which is also involving different alleles, dominant and recessive, but we're not going to get into that at this point. Let's instead talk about biological sex and how that's determined. So the way that biological sex is determined is very similar to allele frequency. So remember, we talked about chromosomes. 22 slots of chromosomes are determining all features of your body except biological sex, and that 23rd chromosome set determines sex. Now the way this works is that female egg cells, so remember, you're getting half of your chromosomes from mom, half from dad. That means on the 23rd, you're getting one of those chromosomes from mom, one of those chromosomes from dad. Another way of saying this is you're getting one of those sex alleles from mom, one of those sex alleles from dad. Now, female egg cells can only carry X chromosomes. Male sperm cells, on the other hand, can either have an X or an Y chromosome. And the way that this works in this combination, if X egg cell pairs up with an X sperm cell, the biological sex of the offspring will be female. If an X egg cell hooks up with a Y sperm cell, then the biological sex of the offspring will be male. As you can see here in this mini Punnett square I've put up, a 2x2, you get these X egg cells, which is the only chromosome that a female can carry, pairing up with this X sperm cell, and then this Y sperm cell pairing up potentially with X egg cells. So in this Punnett square, the probability of offspring either being a boy or a girl is always going to be 50%. This will help you solve the rest of your problems coming up in the quiz you see also on this page. See you all soon.